us through the streaming and televised programming, I guess, in Channel 2. So welcome, good morning. I'm gonna let these guys cycle through and I'll kind of wrap it up at the end as they'll answer a lot of your questions before I even come up here. But we'll start with Antonio. He has to depart after this. He has an event at 1 o'clock he's trying to prepare and attend to also downstairs. So Antonio, go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you. You're gonna see our new faces now, right? Okay, my name is Antonio. I'm the chef, the Breakers. The menus in here, you know, if something concerns or complaints, I gotta make a menu shot every 2 months. Or something, you gotta know, wait for this, call me or coming downstairs or talk to me with this, okay? Something, problem with the menus or the food or something don't like it, okay, I gotta open 7 days a week, okay, here, okay? Something, questions, concerns? Yes. For this, for the menus. Menu shop every 2 months, okay? This only no discussion for the food or something concerned with this. This is why make a menu shots every 2 months. Something I got tomorrow is a meeting for the residents for the food community. You need to talk to with the residents with that. Whatever list for the food community is on the front desk, okay? Something else?
Sure.
Yes.
Sugar-free food. And I know you're not in charge of this, but yesterday, other than water with Shantae, was very
Doctor, for dinner?
at the COVID shops. When we went, oh, and I know you don't.
Just tell her next.
Somebody can go into a coma.
Okay.
My problem is my blood sugar, which it did, dropped.
Yeah, I'm looking for next time with this. I'm sorry about that.
The same thing happened as citizen. The only thing, well, or the sugar-free, sitting there eating all these great meat. Did come up with, get your orders from headquarters. You're gonna have very sick people here. Why you haven't.
Just say okay.
Okay, got it. Something else? Yes, Barbara.
You don't have a response?
Something, not new choices with this. You're welcome.
I'd like to know when we're going to get the
That's a good question. Michelle got to answer this question, okay?
really helped because I don't care for the boiled vegetables.
Okay.
And that would really help.
Good question.
It's only I gotta see you want a fresh fruit for dinner, okay? I gotta work on that, okay?
To do with you or more with chairs in the dining room? I find it difficult to push those chairs back or forward.
I will talk about that.
Okay,
I will talk.
okay, it's only something problem with the chairs, but I gotta normally respond this question, okay? You have nothing for the kitchen or something like that, for the food or something? Yes.
Another one.
And I gotta try put here one day cream soup, one day broth. You know, every people is different. It's a, you know, for guys, 400 people. A lot of people like cream, a lot of people like broth. Sorry for this, sir. But I gotta serve chicken noodles every day too.
That's
If the people don't like cream, I gotta chicken noodles every day. Okay, something else? Yes,
I've been here a long time, and I just want to say that I think some of the food that's being served is some of the best I've had.
thank you.
Most consistently able to get something that's very tasty. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. I gotta have a band downstairs right now. Sorry for that, you know. Thank you so much, everybody.
Everybody, Michelle Billing, housekeeping manager. Couple things, just brought up the carpet cleaning in the restaurant or the dining area. We have been looking into that, and we're trying to work with contractors. It's something that will probably have to be done in the evening, time hours. Just a minute, I'll take questions.
We can't hear you.
Anybody else having a problem hearing? Are we good? Okay. Just as always, if you see any pest issues, please report that to me. We're always keeping an eye on pest control. And we will be coming up on our canine inspects, our 3-month canine inspects here in October. That's about all I have right now. Go ahead, Rona.
Aunts and uncle come to do that.
Bathrooms or something, you let the front desk know and we'll make sure we get to it. Okay, I'll look into that.
11 on Sunday.
Any other questions for me?
Well, it's not strictly housekeeping, that safe furnace filters,
Yes.
doesn't seem to have involved the,
It's actually a maintenance thing that we are wrapping up. The furnace filter changes.
okay.
Oh, yes.
You can't hear that very.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to maintenance, because that should be a standard thing done too.
Okay, yeah, normal answer. Well, thank you guys.
Got
Thank you for
connected to
coming.
Maintenance, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Milton, the Director of Sales and Marketing. I usually enjoy reporting to you, and this is a big one. In September, many this week, by the way, 13 confirmed new people will be roaming around here, and you'll see new faces over the next few weeks. And we already have 8 people, I believe, that are planning to move here in October. So a lot of new faces, and thank you to all of you that have met these people while they were touring and their family members and have been so kind and friendly and welcoming. Because as you well know, it can be stressful, or it is very stressful to move, and especially some anxiety into a new community. And so I really appreciate it. The other thing is we are, once again, paying, we have a couple of credits going out to residents who have referred people who are moving in. And so just remember, please call me if you have somebody you'd like me to send information to, or if you'd like to bring them for a tour and lunch. I would be very happy to participate in that with you. Okay? Does anybody have a question for me?
Kristen,
No credit? Norm asked how much the credit is. Who knows? It's $1,000 rent credit. That's pretty good.
Kristen?
Yeah, yes,
What is
Elise.
the current residents do we have?
Oh, you know, Elise, you're asking for some quick math here. Oh, it's around the people. We have, almost 400 people here. We have a few couples. So the apartments are getting filled up, which is really great. Steve? They're always about 10%. It depends on which ones. For instance, right now, I'll tell you, there are 0 N units available. We will be starting a wait list for that with the next person who would like one. How about, hi James.
Hey, can you explain how that helps? Because people
Yep.
on the elevator would explain
Yeah.
in terms of
You're
the
right.
people that we have.
James is right. So James was asking, when I'm announcing and how many more new people are coming, and I do see your faces, it does look like most people, and I appreciate that, James, do recognize a strong community is a great community, meaning economies of scale is always good. So while we have, a little few more people on the elevators with more people, that is true, it's always good to have more full apartments than fewer full apartments. For lots and lots of reasons, because we can do more things, I guess, with more people living here. Great question or comment. Thanks, James. And Laurel has been really working hard with her committee, and some of you are here to enhance how we welcome people. And we'll be meeting with her and her committee to see how we can help and embolden that too. So we really appreciate everyone being so welcoming. So thank you.
Everyone, I'm Donna Pennycamp. I'm the business office manager. I don't have much to share with you. Would please return their rate increase letters to us. I appreciate it. As you know, whether you return it or not, your rate increase will take effect, but it's always nice to have that on file. Any questions? I'm going to defer that question. I'm going to defer that question to Norm. But as you know, we have a lot of factors that go into determining that. But Norm can speak to that when he joins the stage. Any other questions? The question was, how are the rate increases determined? Roll the dice. I'm just kidding. Gotta lighten the mood here. All right. Anything else? All right.
So helpful. I mean, I'm not a math whiz or anything. My thing is being able to talk and chat up people. But money, blah. I mean, gotta have something. But you always, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for that comment, Elise. Elise is saying how helpful I am. I hope I am. All right, have a great day.
Morning, I'm Christina Elger, the Director of Resident Services and Hospitality. I have a couple things. Yesterday, there were 204 residents vaccinated, so I thank you all for your patience. That was wonderful. It was a great number of people. I know it was a little crowded waiting, but it was really wonderful. I appreciate everyone. The next question is flu shots. A lot of people ask questions about flu shots. Flu shots are coming November 1st, and there'll be more information coming out about flu shots. Floor meetings have started. This Thursday, I'll be doing floor meetings with individuals living on floors 30 and 31. And those individuals received an invitation. So if you live on that floor, please one of those two floors, please let me know that you'll be attending. Resident surveys. You all received a resident survey and many of you have returned them. Approximately 38% have been returned so far. Completing your survey, as you know, I talked about it last month, lets us know what we're doing right, where we can improve, and what we can do better, areas we can do better in. Please let me know if you need your code or if you would like a survey. I will be in the suburbs tomorrow from 11 to 1. If you would like to complete it online, I can give you your code. If you want to do it today or any other time, I need them by next Friday, by this coming Friday. You can pick one up at the desk. We've had, the last 2 weeks, I've done prize drawings, so if you put your name in the raffle, I've done drawings the last 2 weeks, and we've had some winners. Don was a winner, Don Roblowski was a winner, Roswitha Galinsky, Hannah Shanling, Miliana Bolton, Laurel Muhammad, and Nina Pilot have all been winners. So we've had some great winners, and they've won some excellent prizes. The last thing that people have been asking about is, yes, we will be voting here. We are going to be an election site. So on November 8th, you will be able to vote right here. Anyone have questions?
Yes, I do.
My mail,
Check with Molly. And the question, the new ID that's required for next year. I'll check with Molly because she is the one that's been scheduling the Secretary of State, or I'm not sure what you call it here. Come out. Is it Secretary of State? Okay. I'll check with Molly about having them come out again. I know they were here over the summer, I think in June, but we can schedule them to come out again.
just for that purpose though, 'cause
I'll work with Molly on see if we can schedule them to come out. Elise.
Were you around the suburbs in the past couple weeks doing something with the same survey?
Yeah, the same survey. I was in the suburbs last Wednesday doing the survey, the one with the big sign that says survey says, yep, that was me.
I think I must have done it then.
Therese.
I received a text from somebody representing Senior Lifestyles asking for response about resident satisfaction here, I guess. And so that's a separate survey, and we're going to be getting...
Same one.
It is the same one. So Clarice received a text regarding doing a survey about resident satisfaction. It is the same survey.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to have going out and getting one and finding out is that same day.
We try to send them as soon as possible. Sometimes it is, a day ahead of time by the time when things are scheduled, but I'll look at sending them out as early as possible, just so that you can be aware. Plan ahead, yeah. Donna.
Yeah, this is not your slave. I think it's a week from this Friday. And if you want to vote by mail, definitely tell us. But, you get the thing in the mail to the polling place. Or it depends where. But please don't throw it away, don't rip it up. If you make it. Until 2 weeks after the election, us we're running against.
So-
So it's almost like we. Are voting, but really, it's real. Help you with it. It has to be there to help you, so there's no.
Can you drop it off here?
You can drop it off here. Rona's sharing information if you, about voter registration here. There'll be more information coming out about the date and time. It'll be in the buzz, but you can vote here on November 8th. You can register here and more information will be available. If you vote by mail and don't want to mail it in, you can drop it off the same day, but there'll be more information coming on that.
Just one more thing. It's like moving out of the building.
If you move, go down to the voter registration when you see it listed, even if you just move apartments in the same building. So,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure because the horse was here before me. Norm's gonna answer that for you, because the horse, I don't know the significance of the horse. Norm will address that. Miliana.
To complete the project.
Yeah, he's a contracted employee to do the project.
So he bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. He's doing a great job. He's flying through the building. It's amazing. And we're,
I've heard comments from people who are still frustrated that they're not getting notification if their housekeeper is, or there's this change in schedule with the housekeeper and so forth, and I think requires more attention because to get to know that your housekeeper's not there the day after doesn't help very much.
okay. Clarice is stating that residents are concerned about not receiving notification of their housekeeper being absent. I'm going to refer that to Michelle. Got it. Last question, Barbara. Barbara's question is about the floor meetings. Yes, kind of letting people know who I am, what I do, and then any questions or concerns that they have respected to their floors initially, and then as respect to the building. And just letting them know how I can help address those concerns.
I heard something. How is he in an emergency? Get out of the apartments.
So Barbara is bringing up emergency preparedness in the event of an emergency in the building. Because of the number of new residents, we are going to do another apartment emergency preparedness, both show it on Channel 2, and we'll do another presentation here in the showroom. I'm working with Molly. I mean, we're approaching the holiday season, so we want to make sure we get it in before then. But we will have a presentation before we get too deep. It is covered in the, when they move in, it's covered. Yeah, yeah.
One last thing, who knows on vaccine clinic? Can you? Or talks about, mentions the type of vaccine.
I will. Barbara's asking about information
There's a point of.
regarding the vaccine that was received.
This person. What I'm talking about is their understand that the doctor needs to know what.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I can get I can get those and have those available. But yeah, I can get the topic sheet or discussion sheet on that. So, I have to pass it on to the next
If I
person.
can make a donation to the Breakers. Anyone recognize what this is?
Take none, I'll take it.
I'm gonna give it to you. It's
Okay.
my donation.
Okay.
And the point of it is the floor mats, and I'm not gonna. The floor mats, I've seen 2 people with walkers
Okay,
tumble on the floor mats
okay,
recently.
all right, we'll look into
So
it,
this
guys.
is a pretty simple solution.
All right, we appreciate
And
it.
I'm donating it.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone, my name is Shantae McClinton. I am a program assistant. I'm gonna give you some updates or things to look forward to in October. So starting with the October trips, we have October the 5th, Block Museum of Art. October the 12th, we have a low vision group trip. October the 19th, we have the Wicked Play of Broadway in Chicago. And October the 26th, we will visit a pumpkin farm. Okay, remember to sign up for those trips in the mailroom. All right, this Friday, September the 30th, we will have a memorial service for pets that passed away. Everyone is invited to come. If you have a pet that passed away, feel free to bring a photo. You also can bring pets if you have pets, but just make sure that the pet is on a leash. And that's gonna be on the 3rd floor deck right outside. Active Aging Week will start Monday, October the 3rd, and it goes through to October the 9th. We will have some new fun programs, like a fashion show. Did anyone sign up for the fashion show in the back of the showroom? If you want to sign up for the fashion show, we have a sign up in the back there. Our breakers will walk to end Alzheimer's, October the 10th at 10:30 a.m. Residents are invited to wear purple. The walk will be in the park, so we'll walk in the park as a group. When we're done with the walk, we will have some treats, purple treats. Donations are collected for fundraising. Next, we have our door decorating contest. Decorate your doors for autumn and Halloween. The committee staff will judge your doors on October the 20th. Prizes will be awarded 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So remember to decorate your doors. And last, I have Marthbeth Steen, from Congresswoman Jane Shawonsky office. Shawonsky. I'm glad you all know the name. The office will be here Wednesday, October the 19th and the 26th to help Medicare open enrollment. So I will put the sign up for that this Sunday in the back of the showroom. So if you need help with that, be sure to come down and sign up for a time slot, okay?
He said she's going to be.
They're gonna come and do, the Medicare open enrollment. The representative, not Jane herself. And that'll be this Sunday. Yes, Clarice?
I'd just like to say that a couple of years ago, I went to see one of Jan Schakowsky's staff people about getting signed up on Medicare plan, and they were very, very helpful. And they did some comparisons depending on what your situation is. So if you are looking for what kind of plan you should go to, it could be very helpful if you sign up with one of Jan Schakowsky's staff. They're very good.
They're very helpful.
Okay, so Clarice was saying that they were very helpful when she went to sign up to get help with her Medicare. So, like I said, if you want to get help with your enrollment, you want to sign up this Sunday coming up for a time slot, okay? Yes, Elise.
When you set up trips, you ever check on accessibility? So, for example, I've heard of the Block Museum. I've never been there. I'd be interested in going. But I don't know if like there's steps to get up into the building. Is it my responsibility if I'm interested, or does Breakers check that out at all?
So Elise was asking, do I check for accessibility? I always check for accessibility when I'm doing trips, because if it's not wheelchair or walker accessible, it's no good for us. Even though we have some people that don't use wheelchairs and walkers, I want everyone to be able to attend the trips. So that's my first thing that I do. And also our senior discount. Anybody else? Yes, Steve.
What are the
Anyone else? If not, I am, okay, go ahead, Ron.
all the hard work you do.
All right, if that's it, then I'll go on to Norm.
It's for us, yes. And they put out a ramp.
Yes.
One place to go.
Yes, Ron, thank you.
Ms. Rona's just sharing some efforts that have been made to accommodate. Even if the place doesn't have it, they try to go out of their way either to open and on days that they're less crowded, or put up a ramp or something that's safe for you guys to navigate. So there are accommodations, and I think, and I can't say enough, I went to a couple of things. The White Sox game was one of them. And I must say that it's nice sometimes in such a, I don't know, you turn on the news and it seems like everyone's mean, ugly, all this violence, whatever. But wherever you go, and I've seen it, I've experienced it, everyone is so kind. Everyone is so loving. Everyone's so accommodating. They let you park the bus right in front. They'll build a ramp. They'll put something for you. So it's kind of nice to see that, especially amongst seniors that need a little bit of extra support or accommodation. So it is true what Ms. Rona shared. I've seen it myself when I've gone out with a few residents in different places. So I am grateful for that. I'm going to touch on a couple of things that are on here. First is the vents. The ceiling, the wall vents that you're referring to, they could not be incorporated into this project that you saw. We had to bring someone. I had to make some decisions, get things rolling, kind of in the absence of the position. I said, okay, here's the list, let's do it. Let's just start getting the list taken care of. One of the biggest ones was the vents. We have 470 apartments. We had to be very calculated, thoughtful on how we were going to approach that and still keep the process moving without getting bogged down doing 17 things in an apartment. And one of them that could not be accommodated are those vents. If you need specific attention in your apartment with those wall vents, put in a work order. And we'll get to it in that fashion. It's very difficult with 470, and I gotta say Michael has been doing fabulous in keeping it moving. But we have to finish that project, and once you start, you don't want to get bogged down. So that's why it couldn't be added on. The horse was in storage for a while. There weren't a lot of good places where it wasn't I guess, hidden behind a wall or in the way. The horse has been, and I can't say enough about Anthony, Mo, and everyone that helped out. The horse has been treated with a polyurethane hard finish on top of what it was made with. The horse is made to be outside. The horse started with the city of Chicago. If you remember the cows all over the city? Well, the cows were so popular that after that, the city figured out other ways to support different causes. One of their most popular causes after the horse was the Chicago Police Foundation. And they support the memorial that they have in the city. They support different causes through the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation. And there are some things I can share, and I'll have somebody put something on the TV for you, a blurb, even though Molly has shared a little bit in the newsletter about the horse. If you get a chance to go outside, I forgot the full name of the officer. It's Lee, L-E-E. It's Officer Lee. He was killed in the line of duty. There's a story behind it, and he's memorialized by an artist on that horse. Every horse was specific to an officer, a fallen officer. Once the artist got the story, they got the officer's name, they had the liberty to paint the horse however they wanted. I must say that the Breakers ended up with one of the nicest horses that I've seen. And Mr. Kaplan, what they do, once they display the horses all over the city, and everyone gets to enjoy them, they put them in a warehouse, they have a big event, and they invite all these people that have a lot more money than any of us, or that can support fundraisers. And they go to a nice fancy dinner, and they wheel these horses up on stage, and people auction them off, and people bid. We don't know, we don't have a clue how much they paid, Senior Lifestyle paid for the horse. All we know is that once he bought the horse and he got it at the auction, it was donated to the Breakers for us to save, keep, and display here. Now, that's the story behind the horse. And we'll share some more information about it if you want, and Officer Lee. The other are some other projects you'll see. I can't even kind of go through them. We've been talking about them. You'll see them. One of them was recent. It was the lights in the movie room, where you guys have different events and functions, and someone shared something as far as some challenges with a presenter or having a meeting, and able to pull something off that was appropriate. There's still some things that have to go in there, lights, switches, and dimmers, and some other things so you can watch your movies appropriately. So we're going to continue that. You'll see something if you get a chance. I think 34 and 17. There's also, they've also changed some lighting out on those floors, and it makes a significant difference. So that project's going to continue also, and we're just going to do it floor by floor, and what we're referring to are the cam lights that are in the soffit outside your apartment doors. So if you get 34, 17 was done, that's also a project that's going to continue floor by floor by floor. Snow removal and heat. They've been in here since yesterday, or since the beginning. Yeah, it was yesterday. Last week, we couldn't trigger on the heat. We couldn't. We would have roasted. It got to 70-something degrees, and we don't have the option to go back and forth. So last week, we held off because it got to like Saturday. I was out Saturday, and it got up to 79. So we couldn't do it last week. They've been out here. We've talked to them since yesterday. I think there's 3 guys here today. So it takes quite a bit of work and a process. If nothing blows up or catches fire, our heat will be up and running. Well, knock on wood, you never know. So far, so good. I talked to them this morning. We'll have the heat up and running by Thursday morning. That's their goal right now. And the snow.
I had heat.
You know,
I'm an Ulster,
I don't know enough about the system to comment, but it could be that in them monkeying around with the system and draining it, experiencing temperature changes in the apartments already. However, to do a building this size, you have to kind of give it a couple of days to settle. So hopefully by Thursday morning, the heat will be up and running. Our snow removal company, we're going to stay with the same guys that did it last year. They did a good job. Definitely better than the ones the year prior. So we've been talking, and they're up and running. They'll send me all those figures, and we'll get the snow taken care of. The other thing on the, I can't say enough, we don't have a plant operations director, and we're doing okay. We're getting a lot done. If you hear, what's going on with the filters, the horror, all these things that were they kind of became stale. They were just sitting there. And with the lights in the hallways, there's a lot getting done. And I want you guys to do me just one little favor. When you see Kevin, I don't know how you're gonna feel about it, but give him a hug. Kevin's into hugs or not, but he might take a hug. It wouldn't be possible without his support, and then Ray and all the other guys, and we brought in some folks to help us out, to keep the ball moving. But Kevin's been an instrumental piece in trying to guide everyone else. He's been here the longest. I rely on him a little bit more than others, and we meet. Every day that he's here, we talk. Okay, who's on first? What's going on? What are we gonna do tomorrow? The other emphasis we have now, because I kept hearing it, in our system, every day. Why is that one 3 days old? What's coming up? What's coming first? What can we set aside to take care of this first? And just trying to help the guys and guide them in prioritizing those work orders, or also being diligent that you're not waiting 3 days for a work order. It could happen. As you can hear, we have a lot going on and a lot of stuff for the guys to attend to, but every day we go over the TEL system and we look at what's out there, what's taking too long, what's coming, what came in this morning. So an emphasis on work orders just based on the feedback that things were taking 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. So keep using that process, keep calling downstairs, and we're checking in the system much more frequently now to be diligent about the timeliness of the dining room carpet. We are talking to the contractors right now. It's an overnight project. That's one of our challenges sometimes with some of the stuff and the scheduling. The other conversation we had right now, there's a deep cleaning and this whole thing we have to do in the kitchen. You'll hear about it because you'll probably end up, with some different options, but we'll have to do an overnight project and deep cleaning of the kitchen. So there are some overnight projects, and one of them is the dining room carpet. If you guys remember, it was done overnight the last time we did it, and we had to break it up into pieces. It's just way too big and too much furniture, so we kind of broke it up into 2 nights, half and half. So we're gonna do the same exact thing again. We'll keep you posted. You'll find out. You'll get information on that. Rate increases, how are they determined? They're determined based on many factors. I'm not a part of that conversation initially or at that point, but there are people that look at all these numbers. They look at everything. They look at what it's costing to maintain the building. They look at cost of food. They look at cost of labor. I don't even want to tell you what it all is, but utilities. We look at what it costs to run the place. We look at expenses. We look at everything that you can possibly think of, from taxes to expenses, and what we can possibly do to continue to sustain the building. When you look at all that, they also look at market. I'll give you an example. Our market, in a really difficult situation. Not just breakers, but economically and globally. Our costs are going up, and the cost of living is going through the roof. And I am not making any more money. Neither am I. You see, I'm the same like you. Just not Social Security, it's a salary. So you're trying to juggle those two while not displacing seniors. But our market here in Chicago, when you do a competitive market analysis and you look around, Andersonville is one of the hottest places in the city to live. So I'm okay now at 4%. Thank God it was 20 years ago. They're at 8 or 9% right now. Interest, Andersonville, I would be paying more in rent than I pay for my mortgage right now if I wanted to rent an apartment. And you guys, you have internet access. You have the ability to call around if you want. If you look at the Admiral, look at other communities, Friendship Village, if you look at any competitor, they are much more expensive than we are.
I do, and I have, and they.
I want to say much more expensive.
I have a degree from
to what his research or his experience has been, and he's saying, if you find a better deal, take it, because you won't find it. Because he's looked around, he has, I guess, done his homework and his due diligence on what's out there. We have to juggle the two. We have to juggle the two. We're not gonna go through the roof and skyrocket the rates because, again, affordability is a big factor for us. Kristen and I talk about it every day. If we don't maintain this as an affordable option for seniors, we would be displacing a lot of folks, and other folks that would want to join us can't. But I want you to just do your due diligence, appreciate where we are, and I do understand it's difficult. Again, these are decisions made way beyond my pay grade, but all those factors from market to cost to inflation are taken into account, as well as the situation that most of you are in, which is a fixed income. And trying to make those numbers work isn't easy. And again, they make those decisions, they come down the pipe, and we try to work with individual residents as we can, if we can. That's how they're kind of calculated. This is on here, recruitment. There are three or four dining service workers that are in the pipeline right now. They're going through the orientation, onboarding process. That's probably our biggest turnover because those are students. Those younger folks that work in the dining room, they're in school, they're going back to school, or they've left us, some stay with us during school, and some are just short-term employees. They work for a couple of months when they need to, and then they part ways and they go back. So we have about 3 or 4 dietary aides that are coming in the pipe, and we continue to recruit for the other positions such as Plan Ops. We've interviewed, and I'll share, it's public, I can share it, it's not private, I mean. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's all I can say about that. And I could tell a lot of jokes about it because it's like dating. I kissed a lot of frogs before I met my wife, and you think you know what you're getting into, and you're meeting individuals for a few minutes, you're asking them a few questions, but a few later you're asking yourself like, wow, what were we thinking? So, especially for the higher level positions, whether it's a management position, a director position, Plan Ops director, the Plan Ops director is a really, really hard one. Not only do they have to manage several departments because EVS, housekeeping, maintenance guys, you have to work with almost 400 residents. And if you look around and you look at this building from off of Sheridan Road or from up above, this place is massive. Massive building. This isn't a home. This is a lot. This is a lot to put on someone's shoulders. So we're trying to go through that process and make sure that it's the right person with the right skill set. And we haven't had much success as of lately. We've met 3, 4 folks, we've talked to them, they've come in, Kevin takes them around the building, shows them the equipment, the mechanicals, ask a few questions, and see what they say or what they think. And we just haven't felt comfortable pulling the trigger on that. Right now, truthfully with you, it's a lot. It's a lot for me, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not lying. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of not normal, I guess, for a name Norm. I'm not normal because greatest joys is trying to deliver or see the results of your effort. And the last couple of weeks, I can't even tell you, between the HVAC project, the lights in the hallways, the horse, I can just keep going. This is all since the position's been vacated. And working with the guys, for me, is very rewarding, very rewarding. They know where I'm coming from. I can see their enthusiasm. They really want to stay on top of things. I think they just needed a little guidance. They just needed to be pulled together and led a little bit. So I'm enjoying it. As much as it is, it's okay. It's okay. I'm enjoying the time with them, and I'm enjoying seeing the results of their effort. And all of us pitching in, I pull everybody into the mix or the problem. Mo, Anthony, I don't care what your title says, we all pitch in and we make it work. If we got to bring someone in to do the filter, we'll do that. So for me, it's okay right now. I don't know how long we'll keep the position open, but we'll see when the right person comes about. Let me go through this. Dining room chairs. The dining room chairs, Chris was down there. She kind of got a little heads up on it because she happened to be in the room. We were trying to discreetly experiment with something. And we found out that the chairs do have gliders. The gliders on the chairs, over the year, they've rusted out and they have residue. So when you try to use the chairs or slide the chairs, it's like sliding a piece of sandpaper on the carpet and they don't move anymore. So we took new stainless steel gliders and we started to slide them across the carpet and they just take off. And then we took a chair and we switched them out and we kind of started experimenting and they were there. They saw what was going on. And the new ones move like glass. They move very easily. So I think it's, I don't want to give you the, because we counted, it's like 140 chairs down there. On Wednesday, we have a meeting, and I get this figured out. They came in yesterday, all the new materials we need. They're going to start working on the dining room chairs and replacing all those gliders. 4 per chair, think about it. I think we have like 600 right now, 2 boxes. So we have everything we need, and now we're just going to kind of get started and get it done. That's the project for the dining room gliders that someone brought up and said, no, you're welcome. That's Miliana.
Yeah, I noticed there's a certain.
Anna is asking, why do you see lights on in certain areas of the building when it's not being used? Two is we're not allowed to make the place dark because when someone does enter the space, you don't want any accidents. There are other lights in this building that, without turning off all the lights and showing you all this, there are other lights in this building that are part of our emergency systems that you can't turn off. No matter what switch you switch, they have to stay on 24 hours a day. One of the benefits of what we're doing now, well, besides the fact that you don't have to run around and look for burnt out bulbs, 2 is that it's called daylight, it's better light for you to see. 3 is that they're LED and they don't use as much electricity, so there's a long-term savings there. So there are a lot of factors that play into why we need to get rolling and continue with the LED conversion and light project. You said we. She's suggesting that we try to be cognizant of turning off the lights in these spaces when not in use. LED, the significance isn't that LED is very cost effective and they last a very, very, very long time. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to have you answer. It's a percentage. And even though
Okay, I'll give you, her question is, how were the rate increase percentages calculated and how is it fair that someone gets this percent, someone gets that percent? I'll try to answer it without getting into individuals. When I said market rate, and I was referring to market rates, we establish market rates. For example, it's the same thing that sometimes happens with employees, unfortunately. An example using an employee salary or an hourly wage would be, over the last few years, the city of Chicago especially, they just went up to $15.40 last July. We've had employees that have been here a long time. They remember starting when it was $8 an hour. As they got their increases, which whatever they might be, 2%, 3%, they're not astronomical. It doesn't always keep up with the rate of inflation. So what happens is you have to look at all that, because even though I've been here 5 years, when I started I was at a lower rate. Now someone coming in the door gets $1,540. How do you make up that difference? Same thing happens with rent sometimes. We have individuals that have been here a long time, or have been here many more years than others. Someone coming in 6 months from now, and we have market rates that change. They're not always guaranteed to only change on January. For us, market rates mean someone coming in the door and they ask us, how much does this apartment cost? At any moment in time, those market rates are subject to change. So the calculations that they've been using and they're basing it on are based on market rates. And there are some folks that over the years, whether it was due to sessions, something, or they started at a lower rate, they're trying to make it to where everyone is in the same ballpark as far as a market rate for that apartment. That's where those discrepancies lie. Calculation. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to say thank you for getting the washers and dryers installed.
Oh, you're welcome. She said thank you for the laundry equipment.
Last night at our Residents Association meeting, there was a discussion regarding in music on the first floor, dinner and breakfast. And there's a wide range of opinions about whether people like that or not, or that they can't block it out if they don't like it and so forth. And I think people are wondering, how did that get determined that we're going to do that, whether we...
I'm going to refer to why we do what we do, but she's referring to the music in the dining room, and there's a wide range of opinions, That's the case with everything we do here. That's how I'll answer that. Now, we did eliminate it at dinner. There's enough commotion at dinner because there are a lot more people, but it will stay at breakfast and during the normal times, and it's more of an ambiance and a setting. It shouldn't be loud, it shouldn't be over the top or uncomfortable for anyone, but we will. Yes, sir.
So you're saying?
Correct. No, what we have to do is we have to make sure that the folks in the dining room, with the turnover and the changes, that we communicate with those guys. And that's something we're working on a lot right now, so you know, the dining room and some of the issues. I've seen a lot of concern forms, and we're working on the whole service aspect. The whole service part, I think, can use a little help, and we can kind of try to get a lot of the younger folks on board with what the expectations are in the table side service part. So there are a lot of things with that, with the staff going on. Yes, ma'am.
One thing that came out in the discussion yesterday regarding the music at dinner time was that if you're hearing impaired, it's already very difficult to hear in the dining room because there's so much ambient noise, and that the music only added to the difficulty for people who are hearing impaired. And I was one of the people who spoke to difficulty hearing, and I got a note from a resident saying, thank you so much for speaking up for the hearing impaired. The other thing that I didn't realize, somebody came up and said, you know, it also has to do with sensory overload. That somebody was affected by the extra noise. Well, for them it was noise, other people it was music. So I'm glad that you've decided not to do it at dinner time.
We'll put something out there. She's referring to the conversation that took place yesterday evening regarding the music at dinner and the disruption of the music. Yes, sir. Sorry.
I like going back to what Dan was trying to get across with the tape. Up those the carpets.
Carpets, we can't put tape on the floor. We can't. It's going to create a really attractive residue on the floor. Duct tape will leave that. And number two, I think it's Cintas. Yeah, it's Cintas. Those carpets and those mats that you see out front are changed weekly by a company that comes out. They launder them and they replace them, or they'll get pretty bad. And I started that once I came because they needed some help. And to stay on top of it is difficult, especially in the winter. So those are switched out every Friday, I believe, or every week. So we can't start duct taping them down. Yes, sir.
I'm saying this because I promised some vegetarian friends of mine that I would endorse them. I, for various reasons, 6 and 260 former days when I was a vegetarian, and I would try to find yet more vegetarian options. And helpful. They have some and they do a very good job, but some more would be nice.
To the menu, and he's shared that he has in the past, gone vegetarian, and he tries to eat healthier, so he would like to see more vegetarian options. I do know that I heard from a conversation the other day that Antonio was asked to return a salad to this menu cycle as an alternative, which I agree, because a lot of people want to eat healthy. So he has worked on returning a salad to the alternatives and the other options that you have on the menu. Now, the grilled vegetables and other things, I'll talk to him. That's where you want to go to what he referred to as menu chat. That's where you want to go to, and that's where you want to talk about this.
That's what I've been doing.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a desert. It's very.
Again, I'll share it. It's kind of like the comment earlier in opinions. We have almost 400 people and a pretty extensive array of taste, and we have some that want more sausage.
There's a lot of
So I don't know where to go. So we'll do what we can to continue to maintain a balance and try to provide everyone with soup options that are appropriate, options on the alternative menu, whether it's a salad. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that we're trying to cover a lot of ground and a lot of likes and dislikes with a menu. So we'll talk about it. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know than in the past, but in terms of the rugs coming up, it's the rug that goes between the concierge and the elevator in that hallway that leads to the back offices. And I've seen more often when a person in a walker, particularly the metal ones, the aluminum folding, going along, and the rug flips up. And I understand how you cannot always put down duct tape, but something was done in the past. Those rugs coming up like that.
They were larger. The rugs were larger last year. Okay, so why they didn't go up that much. But I just lift my thing,
I can talk to Cintas and see what they suggest. They have thousands and thousands of product or ideas. They do this all over the place. We can't be the only ones that have ever experienced that with the edge of it. I can ask them what they suggest or what they can do that would help us out. Because again, they've been doing this a long time and they have a lot of ideas, and I'm sure we're not the first ones. So I'll ask them about the rugs.
It might be the size, because if you have a wider rug, you don't have the corners that people are getting stuck on. That's
Question about the dining room. Different activities participate in suburbs during the day, and often they are not corrected. What is not corrected for the dining room tables and that sort of thing. They don't put the chairs back, or the chairs aren't put, something like that. And it's just kind of disconcerting from that standpoint.
Referring to the suburbs, she says that sometimes when they have events or activities in the suburbs, in that small area, they don't always put things back where they should go for dinner. Do you eat dinner in the suburbs?
Yes, now.
So Christina, I can look over there, she's writing it down because right there, 90% of everything that goes on right there in the suburbs is sitting right there. It's planned by them. So do me a favor, when you're done, make sure you put everything back where it goes, okay?
Because we've come so
All right.
much. No chairs at the table.
Tell her.
Okay, no chairs at the tables.
They're writing it down, I could tell, I saw them, because everything is planned by them, Christina and Shante. 99% of everything is coordinated by them, so they heard you.
Thank you very much.
What table you at,
Yes.
number?
I don't know.
You don't know the number?
We're
It's on the
moved.
suburbs?
It's in the suburbs and we're moved all the time.
74.
74. We
I
were
got you,
75.
Okay,
I don't know, but they move us all the time.
we got it, Miss Carol.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Is there any sort of
His question was about orientation for the new servers. There's an entire program called Time to Shine, and there are a lot of components to the program. I don't want to get into the details of what I'm digging into right now and what the extent of it is. But when I said earlier, outside of just the recruitment part, that there are opportunities that exist for us to elevate the education and training and what they're getting, that's what we're working on. But there are a lot of tools and there are a lot of opportunities and things we have that can be integrated into their onboarding and the training that they get outside of just the POS, and that's the little screen thing. So we're working on that right now.
We're told that if there is a fire, we need to put wet towels underneath our door because that space is open. We have negative pressure rooms. Around the sides of the door, I don't know if it's a rubber stopper, there's like a strip that will prevent the doors from rattling, and it will also prevent smoke in the hallways in the event of a fire. That stripping is worn out. The last time the question came up about repairing that, it was said that the resident was to bear the cost of rubber stripping, but I was wondering if that could be rethought.
She's talking about resident safety and the securing of the door and gaps. Our building is not inclusive of weather stripping around your door. What your doors have are rubber stoppers that keep the door from slamming so you can sleep at night, and that's part of what he's doing right now when he goes around, if you notice. And that's so when you're sitting there watching TV, you don't hear boom, boom every time those doors slam, either if the window's open inside the apartment. If you wish, you would have to bear the cost of weather stripping. If we have 470 apartments, here we go. You do one, you're going to... That is not a component of the breaker's door frame or assembly system at all. If someone placed or installed weather stripping once upon a time, and it's no longer, working for you, feel free to let us know or replace it. But it is not a component of the structure of the door frame itself, or something that we supply. Now, the wet towel under the door, yes, that's a recommendation for anyone, even in your home, if you're in a private bedroom upstairs, and that's to keep smoke from coming through a gap underneath. That's what the wet towel suggestion is. And on the comment that she shared, yes, you should stay in your apartment. You should stay in your apartment if there is an emergency or a fire alarm.
I don't think I understood what rubber stopper meant.
There are these little rubber stoppers on the frame of the door. They're little gray circles. They're rubber. Over the years, they've been painted over, and some of them have cracked and fallen off, and that's why you hear the doors slamming really hard and the loud noise.
But is that the responsibility?
Yes, and he's replacing them. We bought, 1,300 of them in little baggies, and he's replacing them as he goes around during this maintenance inspection right now. That's one of the pieces on the list. He has a spreadsheet of what to check off. That said, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.